When we think of old Hollywood, we picture dazzling red carpets, glamorous stars, and iconic films. But behind the scenes, the reality was far stranger and much darker than the silver screen let on. Have you ever wondered what it really took to be a star during Hollywood's golden age? The answer isn't all glitz and glory. It's a long list of bizarre and shocking rules that controlled every aspect of a star's life. From being forced to hide their true identities, to enduring painful beauty treatments, and even faking relationships for the public, old Hollywood stars lived under a microscope. Studios called the shots, managing everything from their diets to who they could date or marry. Some were even spied on by their own assistants. In today's video, we're diving into 10 of the most bizarre rules old Hollywood stars had to follow. These stories reveal the hidden cost of fame during an era when studios wielded absolute power. If you think today's celebrity culture is intense, wait until you hear what these stars endured to stay in the limelight. Stick around. You won't want to miss the secrets and scandals behind the golden age of Hollywood. The golden cage of old Hollywood. The golden age of Hollywood dazzled the world with its glamour, but behind the scenes, it was a far different story. For many stars, fame came with a long list of strange and often invasive rules, dictated by powerful studio heads who controlled every aspect of their lives. From the way they looked to who they dated, Hollywood stars were trapped in a golden cage of perfection and secrecy. These rules weren't just about maintaining a polished image. They shaped how stars lived, loved, and even thought. Studios went to extreme lengths to craft personas that would appeal to audiences, often forcing their biggest names to give up their real identities and personal freedoms. For some, breaking these rules meant risking their entire career. In this video, we'll explore the most bizarre and shocking rules that governed the lives of old Hollywood's brightest stars. From forbidden relationships to staged romances, manufactured backstories, and grueling schedules, these tales reveal a side of fame few ever got to see. If you think Hollywood is controlling now, wait until you hear the lengths studios went to in the 1930s and 40s. Let's dive into the strict and surreal rules that turned movie stars into myths. Rewriting backstories. In old Hollywood, authenticity wasn't a priority. Marketability was. Studios fabricated backstories for their stars, often erasing any hint of scandal or imperfection. Take Merle Oberon, for example. To appeal to white audiences, her Asian heritage was hidden, and a false European background was created. She was presented as an exotic beauty from Tasmania, a complete fabrication to align with the era's prejudices. Cary Grant's past was also heavily sanitized. Born Archibald Leach in a working-class family in England, Grant's humble beginnings were replaced with a story of sophistication and privilege. The studio wanted him to embody the suave, debonair characters he portrayed, leaving no room for his real-life struggles. This practice wasn't just about selling tickets. It was about creating a sense of mystique that films like A Star is Born dramatized. The public didn't want relatable stars. They wanted gods and goddesses. The price? Actors were forced to live a lie, often losing their sense of self in the process. Name changes. Hollywood studios believed a star's name was just as important as their talent. To make their actors more marketable, studios often forced them to adopt stage names that aligned with the glamorous image they were selling. Marilyn Monroe, for instance, started life as Norma Jean Mortensen, a name deemed too plain for stardom. Rita Hayworth, another major star, was born Margarita Carmen Cancino. Her name was changed to sound less ethnic, and her black hair was dyed red to make her appear more American. These changes stripped her of her cultural identity, turning her into a marketable but fabricated ideal of Hollywood beauty. The power of name changes wasn't limited to individuals. It was a branding tool for the entire industry. Studios like MGM and Warner Brothers held complete control over their stars' public identities, crafting personas down to the smallest detail. These transformations became permanent, leaving stars with little connection to their roots. Forbidden relationships. In old Hollywood, the studios held the power to dictate not just the professional lives of stars, but also their personal relationships. Many actors and actresses were prohibited from pursuing real-life romances, especially if they conflicted with their carefully crafted public personas. Sex symbols like Jean Harlow were banned from marrying to maintain their allure as unattainable fantasies for their fans. Racial prejudice also influenced these restrictions. Sammy Davis Jr.'s relationship with actress Kim Novak faced severe backlash from Columbia Pictures. The studio's president, Harry Cohn, reportedly threatened Davis with violence, fearing their interracial romance would damage Novak's career and alienate audiences in a racially segregated era. Studios even went as far as inserting clauses in contracts to control stars' marital choices. MGM famously included marriage clauses, dictating who their stars could and couldn't wed. These constraints ensured that actors' personal lives aligned with their on-screen images, prioritizing profit over their happiness. Staged romances. Not all Hollywood relationships were real. Many were elaborate publicity stunts, orchestrated by studios to generate buzz for their stars and films. Judy Garland and Mickey Rooney, beloved co-stars in several musicals, were paired off in a fake romance to promote their films. While their friendship was genuine, the romance was pure fiction, designed to sell tickets and headlines. Lavender marriages were another tactic used to hide the truth about stars' private lives. Rock Hudson, a gay actor in an unforgiving era, was pressured into marrying Phyllis Gates, his agent's secretary, to maintain the illusion of heterosexuality. These sham unions were carefully constructed to protect stars' careers and avoid scandal. These staged relationships weren't just about hiding secrets. They were sold to the public as fairy tale romances. Fans were enthralled by the idea of their favorite stars finding love, even if it was all a well-crafted illusion. Behind the scenes, however, many actors suffered under the weight of these fabrications. Studio spies. Studios didn't just control stars' public lives, they monitored their private ones as well. Assistants and handlers were often employed as undercover spies, reporting back to studio executives about the actor's behavior. Judy Garland's MGM assistant, Betty Asher, was one such example. While Garland trusted her implicitly, Asher was feeding information about Garland's personal struggles and indiscretions directly to MGM higher-ups. This betrayal of trust created a climate of paranoia among stars, who never knew if their closest confidants were working against them. Studios justified this surveillance as a necessary measure to protect their investments, but it came at a significant cost to the stars' mental health. The obsession with control didn't stop there. Studios even hired private investigators to dig up dirt on their actors, ensuring no scandal would tarnish their carefully curated images. This practice highlights the extreme lengths to which Hollywood went to maintain order, often at the expense of the very people who made their films successful. Pregnancy penalties. For actresses in old Hollywood, getting pregnant was often seen as a career-ending event. Studios demanded that their female stars prioritize their image above all else, and pregnancy was viewed as a liability. Ava Gardner, Judy Garland, and countless others faced harsh ultimatums from their studios, forcing them to make impossible choices between their personal lives and their careers. Studios went to extreme lengths to ensure that pregnancies wouldn't interfere with a star's marketability. Illegal abortions were tragically common, with actresses pressured to terminate pregnancies to maintain their work schedules and public personas. Judy Garland, already struggling with studio-enforced substance abuse, was one of many stars forced into such heartbreaking decisions. Some actresses found creative ways to circumvent these draconian rules. Loretta Young, for example, secretly gave birth to a daughter with Clark Gable, and later staged an elaborate adoption of her own child to avoid scandal. Her story remains one of the most poignant examples of the lengths stars had to go to protect both their careers and their families. Grueling schedules for child stars. The life of a child star in old Hollywood was anything but glamorous. Studios imposed punishing work schedules on their youngest performers, often requiring them to work up to 18 hours a day. Judy Garland, one of MGM's biggest stars, was famously kept awake with pep pills to meet the studio's demands. Her grueling schedule left her physically and emotionally drained, setting the stage for lifelong struggles with addiction. Child actors also faced financial exploitation. Jackie Coogan, one of the earliest child stars, earned millions during his career, only to discover that his parents had spent most of it. His situation led to the creation of the Coogan Act, which established financial protections for child performers, but for many, the damage was already done. The mental and physical toll of early stardom often left lasting scars. Many child stars struggled to transition into adult roles or maintain a sense of normalcy after spending their formative years under the harsh control of Hollywood studios. Hays Code restrictions. The Hays Code, implemented in the 1930s, was Hollywood's answer to moral policing, dictating strict rules about what could and couldn't be shown on screen. Sex, nudity, and even discussions of certain topics were heavily censored. Romantic scenes were closely monitored, with rules requiring couples to keep one foot on the floor during bedroom scenes to avoid appearing too suggestive. The code also erased LGBTQ+ representation from Hollywood films. Any characters that hinted at queerness were removed, rewritten, or villainized, perpetuating harmful stereotypes and silencing diverse voices in storytelling. This erasure left a cultural void that would take decades to begin addressing. Even animated characters weren't immune. Betty Boop, known for her flirty persona, was toned down significantly to comply with the Hays Code, transforming her from a provocative character into a more conservative figure. The Hays Code not only stifled creative freedom, but also reshaped Hollywood's portrayal of morality for an entire generation. Exclusive studio contracts. In old Hollywood, actors were often tied to exclusive contracts with major studios, granting the studios near total control over their careers. These contracts locked stars into roles regardless of their personal preferences or professional aspirations. Icons like Bette Davis were forced to take on roles they despised, with little to no say in their own creative journeys. Studios also employed a loan-out system, allowing them to rent out their contracted stars to rival studios for a profit. This practice was highly exploitative, as actors had no choice but to comply, even if it meant working on projects they didn't support. Bette Davis famously rebelled against Warner Brothers, suing the studio in the 1930s in an attempt to break free from her restrictive contract. Though she lost the case, her fight drew attention to the oppressive nature of studio contracts. While these agreements helped studios maintain their dominance during Hollywood's golden age, they often left actors feeling trapped and powerless. The eventual decline of the studio system in the 1950s marked the beginning of greater freedom for performers, but not before generations of stars had endured years of creative and personal constraints. Extreme physical transformations. Old Hollywood's beauty standards were unforgiving, demanding drastic physical transformations from its stars. Rita Hayworth, for instance, underwent painful electrolysis treatments to change her hairline, a procedure she endured to conform to the era's idealized notions of beauty. Marilyn Monroe was another victim of these demands, with studios requiring her to bleach her hair platinum blonde and maintain a strict appearance regimen. The pressure to meet these unrealistic expectations extended beyond cosmetic changes. Judy Garland was subjected to cruel body shaming by studio executives, who referred to her as a hunchback and forced her to wear tight corsets to alter her physique. These constant criticisms exacerbated Garland's struggles with self-esteem and contributed to her lifelong battle with addiction. Not all stars complied without a fight. Katharine Hepburn famously rebelled against Hollywood's beauty norms, insisting on wearing trousers at a time when it was considered unladylike. Her defiance made her a trailblazer, inspiring others to challenge the industry's rigid standards. Fake public personas. Maintaining a flawless public image was a top priority in old Hollywood, often at great personal cost to the stars themselves. Studios meticulously crafted their stars' personas, dictating everything from their hairstyles to their hobbies. Public appearances were tightly controlled, ensuring that actors never strayed from the idealized image the studios had created for them. This control extended into their personal lives. Stars were instructed on how to behave in public, with some even forced to attend etiquette classes to refine their social skills. Their every move was monitored to prevent any behavior that might tarnish their reputations. The pressure to live up to these fabricated identities took a toll on many performers. For stars like Marilyn Monroe, the weight of maintaining a persona that didn't align with their true selves led to feelings of isolation and mental health struggles. The glossy image of old Hollywood came at a steep price, with stars sacrificing authenticity for the sake of public admiration, secret diet, and weight control. Old Hollywood's obsession with perfection extended to its stars' weight, leading to extreme and unhealthy practices to keep them camera-ready. Actresses like Judy Garland were put on restrictive diets, with studios going so far as to prescribe appetite suppressants and diet pills to maintain their desired figures. Garland, in particular, was forced into a regimen that included black coffee, cigarettes, and little else, a routine that wreaked havoc on her physical and mental health. Actors, too, weren't immune to these pressures. Leading men were expected to maintain chiseled physiques, with studios enforcing exercise routines and meal plans. The relentless focus on appearance made it nearly impossible for stars to maintain a healthy relationship with food and their bodies. Some performers pushed back against these standards, though they were rare exceptions. These brave stars helped pave the way for more nuanced conversations about body image in the entertainment industry, but the damage done during Hollywood's golden age remains a haunting legacy. On-screen romance rules. Even on-screen intimacy was tightly regulated in old Hollywood. Directors dictated every aspect of romantic scenes, from the length of a kiss to the amount of physical contact allowed between actors. This micromanagement was driven by the Hays Code, which prohibited overt displays of sexuality and mandated that all romantic content remain decent and suitable for general audiences. These restrictions often created tension between co-stars, particularly when chemistry didn't come naturally. In some cases, actors who couldn't stand each other off-screen were forced to portray lovers, leading to awkward and unconvincing performances. Marilyn Monroe and Tony Curtis's famously contentious relationship during Some Like It Hot is a prime example of this behind-the-scenes irony. Despite the challenges, many actors managed to deliver iconic performances that transcended the rigid rules imposed on them. Their ability to create believable romance under such constraints speaks to their talent and professionalism, even in the face of Hollywood's stifling oversight. Hollywood's complex past. The golden age of Hollywood may be remembered for its glamour, but beneath the surface lay a world of control, exploitation, and sacrifice. From manufactured backstories to invasive surveillance and unhealthy beauty standards, these bizarre rules shaped the stars we know and love today, often at a tremendous personal cost. While some actors like Katharine Hepburn and Bette Davis challenged the system, others were trapped by its demands, sacrificing their authenticity and well-being to maintain their careers. These stories serve as a reminder of the resilience of the stars who endured these hardships and paved the way for a more equitable entertainment industry. Which of these old Hollywood rules surprised you the most? Do you have a favorite story from this era? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this look behind the silver screen, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the fascinating history of Hollywood. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time with more untold stories. And that's a wrap on our journey through the strange and often unsettling rules that defined old Hollywood. From staged romances to extreme physical transformations, these stars sacrificed more than we could imagine for their place on the silver screen. Their stories are a reminder of how far we've come, and how much these stars endured to create the timeless classics we still cherish today. Which of these bizarre rules surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts and favorite old Hollywood stories. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Hollywood history, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories from behind the scenes. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time for more untold tales of Tinseltown. Stay curious and take care.